get me my iPad.
Elaine Chapre says her multiple sclerosis has been especially bad for 15 years. She can't turn over in bed without help, can't hug her grandchildren. She considers today's court decision a victory for people who suffer.
I think that's what the court has done, is given people the choice.
Nearly a year ago, the Supreme Court said adult Canadians whose suffering is intolerable should be able to end their lives with a doctor's help. And a year was how long the court gave the then Harper government to come up with a new law.
Very delicate and very divisive among Canadians.
But now, with the new government,
we're going to abide by the Supreme Court decision.
Comes a request for more time.
We're seeking a further 6 months.
Too much, said the Supreme Court, who handed down a 4-month extension. And a majority of the justices agreed that during that 4 months, Canadians can ask a Superior Court judge for permission to die with a doctor's help, as long as they meet the Supreme Court's test.
So an individual with a grievous and irremediable illness who wants this choice will need to make their application to a court in their province and set out that they meet those criteria.
Quebec already struck out on its own on this issue, and from that province today, Quebec and Canada's first confirmed public case of a legal, medically assisted death. And another patient's case under review.
Governments that allowed certain things.
But for those who oppose the practice, having carefully crafted laws isn't enough.
Is that how little we value our fellow human beings? I say no.
The federal government already has a panel of MPs and senators making suggestions for its legislation. In the lead up to today's decision, the government said it would deal with whatever timeline the Supreme Court gave it.
I am confident we've got a lot of very smart people who have been preparing for a number of possible scenarios.
But Canada's law could go even further than Quebec's, and that's because the Supreme Court ruling doesn't just apply to those who are terminally ill, but those who are irremediably suffering. Just how that is defined is one more question the government will have to answer in time for its new June 6th deadline.